What up, y'all? It's the Blur Bar. Nothing less but top shelf guests here. You know what I'm
Ooh,
saying? When we do it
I
big.
like that.
Uh, I think, I mean, you guys already know who we are. I mean, you're not really here to see
No,
us.
no.
You're here
Oh,
to
no,
see our
no.
guests. So please, without further ado, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Brandi.
Hi,
Brandi Brown.
Brandy.
Hi. What are we at? Like a
No.
conference? Oh, I drink. My name is Brandi. I run the Audacious Black Femme page on Instagram. I have a website, and our whole thing is supporting Black business with our marketing techniques. We have a lot of different avenues, a lot of different projects, a lot of different personal projects going on, and I hope that through this entire interview, we can go over it. And I can't wait. I enjoy talking to you guys.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Andrew?
we had the virtual green room, so got to get to know you a little bit better there. Um, yeah, let's jump right in. We had a few questions here for you, just
Just a
because,
couple.
as you can, quite obviously see, we are the Blurred Bar, and so we are blurs here, self-identified. But wanted to ask you, what kind of blurred are you?
Now, Brandy, you may or may not know. Now, I'm sure you're familiar with the concept of a black card. Now, those are out. Those are done. We ain't taking no more black cards. We ain't giving out no more black cards. No. Now, what we do have is called the Black Port. Now, each blurred just gets different stamps at different gates. You got your anime blurred, you got your tech blurred, you got your tabletop blurred. So tell us about you. Where do you fall? What's in your Black Port?
So I say at this point in my life, I'm 28. While I once was a one-stamp gal, I'm a multi-stamped gal. So you cannot say that I am just a anime manga fanatic. I would say that, I really like my anime and manga, but, as a 28-year-old, I'm really into yaoi. It's just what I'm into. Send it to me.
The chef kiss was great, though.
Yeah,
Like every 28-year-old you come
like every
across.
28-year-old. So I have a very specific niche. I'm also really into card and board games. My thing. I like video games, but not as much as things like that. I have a really big thing about buying games on Kickstarter and playing them with a whole bunch of friends for game night. But I can't really do that now because of the big C. I'm really into reading. At one time in my life, I had about 7 shelves in my room because all I did was collect manga, comics, and novels. And I read a lot. Now that I'm 28, I read a lot of Afrofuturism. I watch a lot of Netflix, Hulu, Funimation. That's my catch-up time if I'm not working or taking care of my family. And I just love traveling. I have always, lastly, it's really traveling and language. I went to school in high school, in middle school, and I took mainly Spanish and Japanese. When I went to college for my hot second, because I wanted to be a hot girl, um, I, all I did was really just good at my language classes. And then I traveled to Japan. So anything I want to do, I just do it. I wanted to visit Japan, not only for the culture, but to experience. I didn't want to do the tourist experience. I wanted to do the, I lived there experience. So we got an Airbnb and only took public transportation for 2 weeks and grocery shopped. And I got to practice my language. Next is South America, so I can practice my Spanish. But, that's the type of blurred I am. I'm a multifaceted blurred. I can have a link tree for the amount of blurred types I am.
Look,
Respect.
I got a blurred port. I got a blurred litany. All right, you like hitting up the scroll. You don't like when you let the scroll just like drop.
She said she got all the stamps. That's fine. We not mad.
Yeah. I feel like we could we probably have to bring you on again just to do a deep dive into everything that you talked about, because I mean, just the fact that you went to Japan for 2 weeks, that was actually where me and my fiance were thinking about going for our honeymoon. But like you said, the big C, and they, Japan's like, nah, y'all not doing that.
Y'all have a blessed night.
We see how Florida be.
Yeah.
Y'all not doing that.
We should totally talk offline about the cheapest and funnest way to go about it with the best experience. A little tidbit: don't go in a hotel. Too small, too expensive. Get an Airbnb. My best tip for you.
All right.
Hey, now you can't be giving that out. That's
That's
She
Patreon.
gave it out for free.
she
be mad.
said the first taste is free. That's for you. Go ahead.
Right.
They might have to go buy a shirt for that one.
Yeah.
So that kind of just like streams into a whole nother conversation.
Apologize.
So we had all these like planned questions and all of that, but talk about your brand a little bit to us.
Yeah, so I'm glad you asked, Dan. Big Dan.
Rodan.
That too. Don't worry about that.
Don't worry about it. So I started. So initially, I knew I wanted to do this because I've always had a big passion for creative content makers. I love creative content makers. I love them, but I knew I wanted a business surrounding them, but I never knew what to do. And I finally figured out what I wanted to do. My whole family was entrepreneurs, but I could never fit that niche. It bothered me. I always felt like I would be the 9-to-5, person in the family forever. Until I thought about it, and it all started when I had a lot of friends that were very creative, could market, all of their stuff. They could be billionaires if they just knew what to do, but no one wanted to get past the commission phase. They were just like, oh, I'm content. Even though, I went to college and I got a degree in art, whatever, I'm content with commissions. And I used to really bother me. But after a while, I was just like, I can't control them. I can't tell them they could make more money. I can't tell them if they just invested in certain avenues, they could really, knock it off. And so starting in October, I started formulating my business, and it all started off as a themed box business. I wanted to focus on marketing and promoting specifically Black business. That's my thing. My father promotes Black business. My sister promotes a lot of Black business. And for me, I was just like, I've been surrounded by Black business growing up. And all I want to do is to see us grow. And I always use the example of gas stations and how they run in the family. And how when one family member succeeds, they go to their children or their family members and say, hey, I succeeded. Here's money. Go open up your own gas station. And they do that. And so I wanted to put that mindset into my business. I succeeded in a theme box business. I want you to start a theme box business, or, whatever comes of it. And so we started in October. I went on a long, grueling, training battle to learn how to use social media. I've been on Facebook since I was in high school. Never touched Instagram, never touched TikTok, never touched Twitter. I'm still trying to figure that out. I even hired a social media manager for a short time. I power learned it. And by New Year's Eve, which was our drop date, all of our boxes released. And from January 1st till now, we have transformed from just being a theme box service to being a multifaceted marketing community. So even though we currently advertise as being, more supportive towards blurred culture, we are actually supportive of all Black business. So if, I'm just throwing something out there, if you sell cars for a living, we would have no problem saying, okay, we'll put your Hyundai, your Nissan, whatever in our box, as long as it's a Black business. But obviously, I can't fit it. But yeah, so along with the theme boxes, now we host conventions for others and ourselves. Now we do reviews. We're a multifaceted marketing platform for you. So if you ever feel as though you're overwhelmed because, you don't want to conform to the Big C's standards, here we are. We're the solution. You can't go to KatsuCon? Here we are. We're here for you. You don't have to worry about it. And, I feel like that's what we need. I feel like we need that family. I feel like we need that revolving dollar. We should stop giving our dollar to people that don't look like us. And that's my whole thing. And I would say that my biggest inspiration as of right now is Juwasu on Instagram, because he does that. He revolves the dollar around our community, and I love it. And so he was the first person to see me on Instagram. He was the first person to believe in me. And because he worked with me, everybody, like head nerds in charge, allowed me to partner with them for projects. They said, oh, Lee vouches for you. Let's go. And so ultimately, that's my goal. And my goal in the future is to quit my 9-to-5 and do this long term.
We right there with you.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my.
Sorry, that was long-winded.
Wow.
No,
that was great.
Perfect.
That was
so
amazing.
great.
I'm feeling it over here, man.
We literally talked about that. I want to say it was in our first season that we talked about like building a network of Black excellence, Black business, and it's so dope to hear that like great minds think alike, and it's just like you're finding that solution to a problem. You know what I mean? Like even the fact that you said revolving that dollar and recycling that dollar within the community is like that's a great start, and just I love to hear it. So I think that's really awesome.
I appreciate it.
Listening to you explain it was it was hopeful. I don't know much about hope, but I knew it then. I was like, all right, okay. Now we got to protect this business, protect you. We'll make sure you get there.
Bolster
around that. Yeah. Now, really anyone who's been to your website or your Instagram or any of your social media knows that you have a book coming out soon.
Yes.
So
I'm so glad you said that.
We got to talk about it. Now, I know, spoilers and all that other stuff that however you want to handle this, we won't follow your lead. But what is the book about, if you could give us 2 sentences of just a trailer?
Give us your elevator pitch. Go ahead.
Yes.
Go on.
So I'll go into a little bit of detail. There's a special event that will be happening in February that that everybody will be engaging in. It's going to be really fun, but I'll give you a small synopsis. It's about 3 women going in 3 different directions in their lives where they feel as though that they are very stagnant. One feels as though she can't find any more fun out of life. One woman is being harassed at work. She's an archaeologist, and one is going through a lot of domestic abuse. Again, they're all Black women, all Black main cast. And they get to the point where they're very stuck. And once they all get into a situation that they would most likely regret, and once that starts a turning point for them, and they meet some gods, and each one meets a different god that leads them down a different trail. And not to give too much, but it revolves very lightly around the American God series, if you guys have ever watched that. Our book,
heard about it.
Book 1 focuses on Egyptian, Greek, and Norse gods. Book 2 will have some more, but that's the main focus, and I think it's great. It's a fantasy adventure lore erotica. As you know from my earlier conversations, I really like erotica, but I never like it to deter from the story. So I never want anybody to think I just make erotica just for erotica. So, but that's the goal. There will be a Kickstarter coming out soon for the comic, and there will be a promotion event that will be starting in February, right after my cover art is done. That's the last thing I'm waiting for. So yeah, it's going to be a very exciting event, and I hope that you guys can engage.
Oh,
yeah,
most
definitely.
certainly.
We'll be in the room where it happens.
So it's going. You're saying it's going to start off as a book, like a novel, but you already have plans to make it into a
Correct.
comic. Oh,
So, question: which came first? Was it the story? Did you already visualize the story and see how you'd like that to already be translated into a comic, or did you have the story just written down first?
So normally how I write, I do a writing blob. So I just write. I write, and that's how I start. And from there, then I figure out the direction. So normally I start up with this banging idea. So I know I really like the first girl. I was like really writing her, and I was like, I love her. She relates to me. I always get to the point in life where I'm just like, what else is there? I want to do something exciting. I want to do something new. And then, from there, I'm just like, oh, I can expand this to something more. So that's normally how I write. I write story first. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then obviously I edit it and peer review it.
So, go ahead, Josh. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Sterling.
Real quick, pardon me 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
He's about to die.
Yeah, I'm back now.
Mercy.
What? Did I not mute?
The way, no, you were. It was grandiose. That was a call for the ages.
Anyway, one thing that I'm really interested in
Got
your
the
story
Omarion out there.
No, I don't even. Stop. You better stop.
That's not funny.
Sorry.
I really like that there is. Well, I don't like that. I find it a very interesting point that one of the main characters is being harassed as an archaeologist, because I think there is a lot of questionable interactions in a lot of academia. But I think it also gets glossed over because it's like, oh, it's you go, you dust some bones. What could it be? But how the nepotism that happens there and people getting overlooked, I'm really interested in you delving into that.
Yeah, and I never like writing or watching stories about submissive women, honestly. I know I'm gonna get a lot of crap for this. I feel as though it's overplayed. I think it's a really horrible trope, in my opinion, honestly, because I've never felt like a submissive woman. And so, I really like writing about or talking or watching other shows about women that are just going to go and do what they feel makes them happy. It doesn't always need to be a homemaker. It doesn't always need to be someone who has kids. It can be someone saying, I'm tired of this. I'm about to go do something else. Or be greater. Obviously, not everyone has the same drive. I never finished college. It wasn't my thing. I didn't feel as though it was something I needed. But
it's okay. I'm in debt, so.
In exchange, I went to language school and did Duolingo. So,
Peace the owl.
I hear you, Big Dan. I hear that.
No, I mean, I finished, but at what cost, right?
Did you do it?
Well, you know the cost. You know the cost every month.
Yeah. And where did that bring me? Right back to where I am.
Hopefully, Big B will help you out with that in these coming months.
Hey, we'll see.
That's not about Uncle Joe.
Uncle Joe ain't doing it. That's why you call him Uncle Joe.
Taking a nap.
That's why we needed what's his face? Who did I say I wanted? Bernie. That's why we needed Bernie. Bernie
I don't know. That's a conversation for another day. But
that might be a different podcast.
Sorry, wrong podcast.
Yeah, no, I'm yeah. It's an interview.
Sorry.
What are they gonna do?
Sorry.
Silence us?
Demonetize us.
Gang.
Right.
So hearing this description it's very interesting because when you started off, I thought it was just going to be like just like fictional, but like I don't know. I was waiting for because I remember earlier you said that you're into the Afrofuturism, so I was like, well, if you're into Afrofuturism, where's the? And then you like said, and then they meet guys. Yes. I was like, oh, okay, here we go. Yeah. I was like, yes. So what made you want to even like approach this story?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So I've always liked writing. I don't really tell a lot of people this, but the first time I ever wrote, I wrote a screen script for a Ed, Edd n Eddy movie. It actually was the exact same. I felt like they stole my writing, but I essentially wrote the movie about his big brother. But we can save that for another day. But they didn't know me. So I started off there, and then as I got older, I loved writing. I love reading more, but I knew I always wanted to write Black fiction, but I didn't want to just write Black fiction and feel like how I go and walk in a comic book store or I walk into a bookstore and it's about a slave or somebody down on their luck in the streets. You know, when people see books like that, I know I do. I overlook it because I feel like it's overplayed media-wise. I want to look at a book. I just read recently, Benti. You can get it off the Sci-Fi Sisters website. And I read it and I was like, this is banging. This is sweet. This is dope, you know? And I'd never read Black fiction for a long time in my life and thought, wow. So, you know, I want people to look at my cover. I want people to read the first page and be like, dang, you know, this isn't about, you know, a woman, you know, going through a bad relationship. Or this woman is like, you know, I'm tired of my man controlling my life. No, this is about a woman who's going out there and going through stuff and feeling like she is, you know, in control of her life. And she is doing something greater than, you know, staying at home. And that's what I love.
So it's the opposite of a Tyler Perry
correct
script. Got you.
We can't say his name. You know that.
I'm no longer scared. I've already called Beyonce out on Beyonce's internet. I am no longer afraid. It's 2022. Pull up on me.
Yeah.
That's interesting because I recently just started reading. I say for fun. I've been reading a lot of serious. I mean, the word for it would be like self-help books for like the past 5 years or so.
No, it's almost 10 now, homeboy.
It could be. But I recently I'm reading right now Children of Blood and Bone.
Ooh, because it's about to be a movie soon?
So I wanted to read it before that happened because, you know, Netflix or whoever, like, the studios get a hold of it.
We saw Cowboy
and
Bebop.
Then
we saw it.
It's like, yeah, it becomes what it becomes. So I definitely wanted to read the book first, and I got that book, and I got the sequel to that as well. And it's just like, it's so cool to see that world being developed and expanded on. And there were things that I had to look up because I never was exposed to these kind of words, right? Like the type of clothing or like the houses, what they call like their houses and the jewelry, like and everything. It was just like, oh snap, this is like taking me back to the motherland without taking me back to the motherland. So I think that's like been really cool and definitely something that I want to delve more into. And so I guess Sci-Fi Sisters, you said them earlier. Is that like a website where you can find?
Yeah, her whole platform, and she was my hero, and she's helped. Her platform gave me the idea to start mine, which is a different twist. She primarily sells Afrofuturism novels, and I love it. I go to her for all of my needs. I just had an Instagram live with her last week.
Wow.
It was like having dinner with a celebrity. I was starstruck the whole time. And she's absolutely gorgeous. I love her. And I think it's funny how you brought up self-help books. I'm assuming you're talking about like Black directed self-help books.
Oh, of course not, because I don't know where any of those are.
Well, Think and Grow Rich.
Well, I'm noticing that when it comes to literature nowadays, especially and before when it came to Black-centric literature, aside from Afrofuturism, I've deterred from it mostly because a lot of them give you the synopsis or the speech that a lot of your problems are solved through religion. And myself, I'm not religious, and I'm more spiritual, not in the, I have crystals way, but more if I live in a karmatic way. And when you read these self-help books, or you read a lot of Black fiction books, and they're just pushing the agenda of, this helped because Jesus, revolved around them and made it better, it's a very tired narrative. And, it's kind of like, well, when are we going to start talking about other things without making it feel like it's a taboo? Why can't we talk about African history? Why can't we talk about, some gods or whatever without feeling as though we're trumping on religion, even though, I don't care for it, but, others do. There's other things
Really?
out
Tell
here.
me how you really feel.
Yeah. I'm very opinionated. Hot take.
Audacious even.
That's interesting. I've never, like the last book that I read was The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. So it's like,
Got that book on my shelf.
I have not.
Love it.
Oh, look at you. Look at that. Great minds. But yeah, so that's interesting. I mean, if the Jesus-centric self-help book in my growing up would just be the King James version of the Bible,
Yes.
right? It's just like, it is what it is. That was the only book you needed, so.
Ephesians says.
All right. All right.
I'm not very, aware of you guys' religious or spiritual out views, so I don't want to make it seem like I disrespect you guys. But when it comes to literature, I feel as though it's played out.
The beauty of views is that everyone has them, and I think we do our best not to necessarily step on that, but at the same time, if it comes up, like it comes up,
Yes.
The beauty of everyone being different. That's the way the world works.
Thank you.
So I think we hit some topics that might be another podcast. This topic is another podcast.
I'll leave it alone.
So having said that, I would love to hear some of your challenges and triumphs when it comes to world building. What was a point where you looked at something that you created and you was like, yo, I did that.
Yes. So, I have what do you call a circle? You could call them a team of people that I always talk to when I write. And, I always, make sure that I talk to them because I don't want, I like to, you can call them my fact checking team. Is it legit team? Should I be putting this on book form? And so, when I was talking to them and we were talking about some of the gods, and we were talking about how we were going to go about creating the art, we were just like, you know what? I can't wait to put this on, merch. And, better yet, I can't wait to make a side yaoi about this, or like a side, little nitpick about this. And I feel like the gods that we chose in particular, they're female and male gods, would create really good side stories. And so while they're based on actual gods, that was one of our triumphs. We really liked that part of the world building when it came to, how are we going to market these gods out here? Because everybody knows, all these gods. And I guess one of our lows would be when some of my ideas were debunked and they were like, Brandi, don't touch it. They were like, Brandi, we know some gods had very risque relationships, but some of those will not translate well on paper. And so, those were some of my challenges in being told no and discussing that.
That's a good team, though. Because if that's a good team.
Yeah, no, that leads me to two questions, kind of. More readily or recently, when you said your team was like, "Don't touch that." Was it? Did it hurt? But did you find that like, oh, I have to kill this. I have to kill this part to make the story shine more, like to actually amplify the story. Because I was talking to a writer friend of mine, and he really wanted to put this one scene in his like pilot episode, and then after like workshopping it a bit, he found that like, if I do this though, even though it's hilarious, where does the story go from here, right? So it's like having to like sacrifice that one idea for the greater good of the story. Was that something that you found with that?
There was a lot of no's. There, and it wasn't just because of, personal likes. It was because of, cultural reasons. Like, I know I wanted to delve into, I guess the lore of, like religion and Jesus and stuff. Like, I wanted to delve into like a Jewish part. And then, my team was like, don't touch it, Brandi, because, even though we're using...
Oh, what happened in the canon?
Yeah, so, I mean, everything we were doing was based on history. But, still, some people don't actually study biblical history. Yeah, and some people are like, no, but, I feel... No, it's biblical history. It's documented. And so, they was like, don't touch it. Don't touch Native American culture. There was a lot of no's. And so we chose, more broadly accepted topics. And I've been told no all my life. When I was trying to find people for my box, I got a lot of no's. Oh, you're a bot. A lot of stuff. So, I'm used to no's. As long as you give me a solution, if that makes sense. I never like people telling me no. And that's it.
So. No, that's valid. That's a valid way to feel. I think I guess to continue this conversation in this direction, while choosing the widely popular or accepted, lore portions of your story, do you find yourself censoring yourself because of the time we live in? Like it's 2022. So do you find yourself over censoring yourself on certain things, or do you not face that problem or that challenge at all?
I would say no, because when I do get a good yes on my the direction that I want to go, I do whatever I want. So I understand for the fact that I want my book to sell, that there are some cultures I can't touch. However, it didn't deter from the overarching message, if that makes sense. Because my team was able to look at me and say, hey, Brandi, this is not going to work, but this will work. And this will still get your message across. And that was a conversation. There were suggestions that my team gave me that I was like, and then we talked about that. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I got one more question.
Okay. Keep going.
one more before we close out. I with being a writer and doing this endeavor, and you already talked about having like a sequel. How long would you say the process was from like conception to like now you're just waiting on like the cover art?
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And could you like walk?
Yeah, so I started my book in November, and like I said, I have a team of people working with me, because I feel as though one of my downsides is I have a lot of not good one of my downsides is that my time, and so when it comes to creating things in a certain time limit, I have a lot of difficulty with it. So what I normally do is I sit down and I write maybe like a chapter or two, and then my team will look at my work and say, okay, Brandi, let's expand it like this, and we talk about it, and then they do all the bulk of the work. So I give them what I want, and they help me out fill in the blanks. And that's how we, how do I explain that? That's how we get them in such a small time frame. And so we started in November, and now we're finishing up in January. We're just waiting for art, copyright stuff, and just printing, honestly. And the what you want to do is make sure you have your team set up beforehand. If you want to set up a business like mine, I wouldn't say, just do it by yourself, because then you're going to put so much, energy into one thing, and then you can't, help it creatively. My team assists me a whole bunch. I have people that give me advice. I have people that, tell me yes, no. I have people that help me write faster. I give them what I want, and they help me expand. I have an editing team, etc. And so we all work together, and it's all part of Black business. Everyone that I work with is a Black business owner. My editor, Black. My artist, Black. My writer, Black. That helps me out with writing. I love it. Everything I want in the book, I put it in there, and they just expand on it. Yep. And that's how you do it.
Can't hate that at all. No, I like that. I like that a lot. What's crazy is I hear you talking. I'm like, I really want to read this book, but I also know we gotta wait. And I don't want you to give anything like major away, so that's why I'm like not asking the questions I want to ask, as being like the sommelier of sci-fi and superheroes out here.
No, you can most definitely ask me. I have no, and I'll just tell you if I can't answer it.
I know,
right.
But I'm also like, why risk it, right? So, but that being said, we got some softball questions for you, just so we can, start to wrap this up a little bit. Now, being the multifaceted blurred that you are, if you could choose, what superpower would you have?
Ooh, so I always told people I always wanted telekinesis, because I feel as though it's very versatile. Anything that I could possibly want, I can do it with telekinesis. I'm very multi, I do a lot of things at one time. And so it would help me out severely.
Oh, no, I vibe with that a lot. I think that's...
have
we ever asked that question among us?
I think so, yeah. Yeah, we most certainly have.
I'd be surprised if we did.
I'd be surprised if we didn't either, but I feel like we haven't, because I would have said telekinesis as well.
100% telekinesis.
It just does everything. It's the Swiss Army knife of superpowers.
Oh, yeah.
And then, what would your role be if there was a zombie apocalypse?
Ooh, good question. So,
because the COVID-19 vaccine has been distributed, so we're trying to figure out who's on our team.
No problem. So if I was on the zombie team and you were just like, Brandi, the zombie apocalypse is tomorrow, where are you falling in?
Wait, where do we get this key information?
I'm just letting you know there's gonna be a zombie apocalypse tomorrow, and you're recruiting me.
The CDC says.
I would say my role would probably be what do you call that? Building the fort. That's my. I've always been keen on building. I would make sure that the fortress is straight. You're not going to see me macheting, zombies. I'm sorry. You might see me helping healing, maybe. But what you're really going to see me doing is making sure that we have supplies, because I'm very OCD, and I'm making sure that our barrier is good. That's all you're going to see.
Zombie administrator out here. I see you.
I too have played Fortnite. Yes.
Project.
That's all I do.
Management.
Project management.
Ain't mad at all, because I probably wouldn't think about half that stuff. I'd be like, "What do you mean electricity? Everybody go to bed. What you mean? It's dark out. Go to bed."
Hello.
What's your favorite anime?
Oh,
hold on. What's your favorite anime now, and what's your favorite anime of all time?
And what was your favorite anime 20 years ago?
So,
you gotta go, bro. Stop.
So I remember I went through a long phase where I continue to rewatch Higurashi multiple times because I really like horror anime. It was my thing. It's just what it was. I really liked it. I love the scary parts. I love, like, if you guys ever watch Lost, they always have this thing where you get to find stuff later. Like, you pause it, and you're just like, oh, I didn't see that ghost at first. So, you know, I kind of like that. That was my binge. Right now, while I can't tell you what's my favorite, I can tell you what I've recently watched that I am just like, I really enjoyed. Dang, now I can't remember. It was that guy who like had his fingers like this and like bang, 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 and he was talking to that girl about One Piece.
Inuyasha.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, from
really
the creator
funny.
of Gantz.
And then my anime crack, as you say, which I can watch multiple different times.
I have never said that.
Have you guys? I'm sorry, now I can't remember. What's the anime with 02?
Darling in the Franxx.
So everybody hated it, but I have this thing with very specific moe anime where I'm just like, that's my crack right there. So like when I was watching and everybody was hating it, I was just like, 02, and then like they were talking to each other in the robot, and I was just like, and I was just like singing the song, and I fell in love with them, and I was just like, it's very specific. Like I like that new show on Netflix with that girl who doesn't talk. Very
Comey can't communicate.
Very specific moe taste. You know, don't like the whole, harem thing. Don't like all that. But, when you have that wholesome character that is, I love it. And then, my other side is,
I don't know, actually.
Have you guys ever watched Banana Fish?
It's on the list.
Gotta watch
Definitely on the list.
I haven't watched it. I won't even lie to you.
I know you're not gonna watch it, Dana.
You named like 3 things, and I was like,
whoa, what that mean? Let's delve into that. Why Dana ain't gonna watch it?
I don't know why I'm not gonna watch it, but
Banana Fish is a yaoi, so he probably won't watch it.
Nope. She's right. She's absolutely right.
Not like this.
It's also a cry fest. It's a cry porn. So if you're ready for that,
no. See, it's not even that. It's just I'm already behind on like the popular stuff, so I don't have a fringe
implying
anime.
yaoi isn't popular.
I'm saying the fringe, the fringes of anime and things like that subgenres of anime, if I could clarify, are likely not on my list in general, just because I do more of the superhero stuff. All of that.
We should most definitely talk sometime, Dan, about comics and superheroes. I went through a big phase where all I did was collect old Teen Titans comics, and I still have them in my room. And I
respect that. Old DC is not this DC.
It's not.
I support I support anyone that says anything before Final Crisis.
Sorry.
Yeah. Nope. Anybody come at me with New 52 is probably going to get like muted real fast. So I just be like, all right, thank you for coming on. And this has been our interview. Yeah.
Most definitely. And I also got a lot of Neil Gaiman comics. So I got like all the Sandman, everything. I love him.
I have them all digitally now just because I can't keep anything paper around here because I have 2 children under 2 or 2-year-old, and so everything's digital, so that way I can access it and not have to worry about dust and water and spills.
Hey Dan,
tears.
Project for the future, we should totally do a segment where we talk about being nerdy as a parent and things that we have to get around.
I support this wholeheartedly. You just let me know. You schedule it. We'll jump on your Instagram and have that conversation.
Oh yes.
I would love to have something where we talk like to nerd parents, because nerd parents, we struggling out here.
Because we ain't it.
Keith,
I'm assuming you two are. Josh, you might be a parent, but I know Ace is not a parent.
What?
That's how rumors start.
Josh,
You said he might.
Am I?
No, he's not. Not yet.
And I know
Wait,
Ace
why
is
am I
not
disqualified?
No, you're not a parent.
Why am I
You
disqualified?
have way
Just
too
the
much
glasses.
energy to be a parent.
Whew.
All right. So this has been great.
Call the ambulance, but not for me.
He needs some milk.
Yeah, so you start like that, right? It always starts how you have your energy. I was like you once too when I was a young gal. And then my son came and I was like, oh, that's my pride and joy. A month later, I was like, kill me. I have no sleep.
Yeah. I be trying to tell people, and this is a weird segue, and we'll wrap up after this. But if you are an aspiring parent, I'm looking directly at the camera. If you desire children, you no longer desire sleep. There is no middle ground.
Pick one.
You pick one. If you want sleep, you don't pick children. I'm telling you now. You like free time, you don't like children. It is what it is.
But Dan, it's the most rewarding thing.
Whoever came up with that statement, when I find them, I'm going to peel their toenails back. And then I'm going to put sand underneath said toenails.
Yep.
Because they can kick all the rocks.
So, Brandi, thank you so having
this
said
went
that.
so left so fast.
Sorry, you guys. I enjoy these conversations.
No, it's nothing to apologize for. This is great.
And this is only part one of chilling with the Blurred Bar.
Yeah, you got a seat at the bar.
Yeah,
Thank you.
no doubt. See, now we got to start having a VIP section because she seems like one of those very important people that you just got to be like, hey, yo, that's Brandi, dog. No.
Hit me up.
Don't stop her at the door. She's like, you know who I am. I'm Brandi out here. So, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to what the future has for you and your brand, your book. Tell people where they can find you real fast.
Most definitely. You can find me at The Audacious Black Femme on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, but I'm not on it. I don't know how to work it. That's where you can find me. And Discord. We just started our Discord. That's where we're holding all of our meetings. I'll send you guys the invite. And
we'll send you our invite.
And I would love to, collab with you guys on some projects moving forward if that's what you guys are interested in.
No doubt.
Yes.
We're always out here trying to grow. And, hey, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And comment. And then go over to The Audacious Femme and do the same thing. Because you just
make sure
with
it's
my
The
free
Audacious
time.
I would love to work with
Audacious Black Femme. Thank you. Right. Audacious Black Femme.
And that is femme, not
that might be
feminine.
something else. Right. As we always like to say here at the Blurred Bar, y'all have a blessed night.
Bye.
Peace out.